The Women Welfare Committee at ISER Bhopal has organized a few events spanning a week in the form of talks, nukkad nataks, karate session and competitions. And this is an effort to increase awareness regarding women's safety in general amongst people. The era of globalization, especially the pandemic, has made us directly or indirectly very dependent on the internet, which has given very easy access to almost everything. But this growth on internet dependence has also posed a concern in the form of cyber crimes, which can be extremely traumatic for a victim. As per National Crime Records Bureau, Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India, a total of 8,379 cyber crimes against women were registered during the year 2019, and the motives ranged from cyber blackmailing, threatening, cyber pornography, hosting, publishing obscenes, cyber stalking, cyber bullying, defamation morphing, fake profile, etc. The Nukkad Natak today by Team Hunkar is a portrayal of this menace. Hunkar is a Nukkad Natak group of ISER Bhopal students that was founded in 2012. Since then, Hunkar has always tried to bring to light the inherent problems in society and in our own campus so as to create awareness of the ISERB community. They advocate unbiased talks on issues fearlessly and loud to make people realize that shushing down on societal problems is never a solution. So let us all view the Nukkad Natak. The Nukkad Natak will be followed by a seminar on a critical view of the Prevention of Sexual Harassment Act with a special emphasis on online safety by Professor Komal Auditya in a joint collaboration with Women's Cell. So please stay with us and let us watch the Nukkad Natak at first.
हेलो सर, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया मेरी एप्लीकेशन कंसिडर करने के लिए। आपने मेरी बहुत सहायता की है।
अरे ऑफ कोर्स अगर इस दुनिया में एक इंसान दूसरे इंसान के काम नहीं आएगा तो इस दुनिया का होगा क्या?
थैंक यू सो मच अगेन सर।
अरे पर मैडम जी, सिर्फ थैंक यू से काम थोड़ी ही ना चलता है। आगे मुझे वो मिलेगा ना?
जी क्या मतलब?
अरे आप अभी तक समझे नहीं। हमने आपको इतना स्मार्ट समझा था, आप इतनी पढ़ी लिखी भी हैं, फिर भी आपको समझने नहीं आया।
जी नहीं सर।
देखिए मैडम जी, बिना करेक्ट इंसेंटिव के तो हम जॉब देते नहीं हैं, तो थोड़े एक्स्ट्रा फेवर तो आपको भी तो करने पड़ेंगे ना।
एक्स्ट्रा फेवर्स? रिश्वत चाहिए आपको? रिश्वत मांग रहे आप? पर सर मेरी फाइनेंशियल कंडीशन सच में बहुत खराब है, मैं आपको पैसा नहीं दे सकती।
अरे पैसा नहीं, हमने आपको इतना अच्छा जॉब दिया है तो थोड़ा उस तरीके से भी खुश कीजिए ना मैडम। थोड़े स्पेशल फेवर्स भी तो बनते हैं आपके।
ये आप क्या कह रहे हैं एचआर साहब? ये कैसी बदतमीजी है? आपको मालूम है आप क्या बोल रहे हैं? अपने हद पे रहिए।
अरे हद की ही कहा है मैंने अभी, तभी तो मैंने बोला आपको थोड़ी मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी। आपको तो पता ही होगा ना कि इस जॉब के लिए कितने सारे लोग आते हैं। अगर हर एक को देखूंगा तो आपसे अच्छा कैंडिडेट तो मुझे मिल ही जाएगा। इसीलिए आपको तो पता ही होगा कि मैं ये जॉब किसी को भी दे सकता हूँ। अगर एक बार ये जॉब आपके हाथ से चली गई तो फिर मैं आपके लिए कुछ नहीं कर सकता।
देखिए, आप मेरी मजबूरी का गलत फायदा उठा रहे हैं।
अरे, अभी फायदा उठाने ही कहा दिया है आपने। देखिए, आजकल ये तो सब नॉर्मल है, तो चलो मान भी जाऊंगा तो अनुराधा जी, थोड़ा सा ही तो करने के लिए बोल रहा हूँ मैं आपको। चलो ठीक है, आप ऐसा समझिए कि आप मुझे बहुत टाइम से जानते हैं, इससे आपको भी कोई मुश्किल नहीं होगी। अब इतना तो फेवर कर दीजिए ना मेरे ऊपर।
जी नहीं, मेरा आत्मसम्मान मेरे लिए ज्यादा कीमती है।
सोच लीजिए अनुराधा जी, ऐसा ऑफर बार बार नहीं आता है। अगर ना कह दिया तो कह ही दिया, फिर तो ये जॉब आपके हाथ से चली ही गई समझो।
नहीं चाहिए आपकी जॉब, रख लो। आई रेस्पेक्ट माई सेल्फ मोर देन योर डैम जॉब। क्यों नहीं समझते? क्यों नहीं समझते कितनी जरूरत थी मुझे इस जॉब की? हे भगवान, क्या दिक्कत थी हाँ बोल देने में? फिर क्या तेरा सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट भरवाएगा? अरे क्या क्या मुझे हाँ कह देना चाहिए था?
मैंने तो हाँ ही कहा था। ना जाने कितने दफ्तर घुमाए उन लोगों ने। काय के लिए? पेट भरने के लिए? एक रिस्पेक्टफुल जॉब के लिए? और क्या पाया मैंने? अपने ही सम्मान को मिट्टी में मिला दिया। क्या क्या नहीं किया मैंने। अब तो खुद को आईने में देख भी नहीं पाती हूँ। इतना घुमाया और जॉब तक नहीं मिला। मिलता भी कैसे? क्योंकि जॉब था ही नहीं। वो तो फेक जॉब ऑफर्स वाले थे, हमें बस गुमराह करने आए थे। पर मैं तो ना कह सकती थी ना। मैंने ना क्यों नहीं कहा? यही सब होता है ना अब दुनिया में। इंटरनेट पे इतने जॉब्स हैं, पर कौन सा जॉब असली है कौन सा नकली किसे पता है? और रही बात सेक्टर की, तो वहां तो फेवर्स होते आए हैं और होते रहेंगे। स्पेशली अब जब महिलाओं को जॉब्स की इतनी जरूरत है, उन्हें तो बस घुमाया जाता है। इंटरनेट का गलत इस्तेमाल हो रहा है और जो दोषी है उन पे तो आरोप भी नहीं आता। आएगा भी क्यों? जॉब चुनने की जिम्मेदारी तो हम पे है ना। पर क्या इन सब घटनाओं को देखकर कभी आईटी कंप्लेनिंग सेल कुछ करेगा? कुछ ठोस कदम उठाएगा?
ये क्या बोल रही हो तुम? क्यों? सिर्फ हम ही क्यों? चाहे मैं पेट को चुनूं या अभिमान को, दोनों में ही मेरी हार है। क्यों? क्यों?
क्यों? क्यों? क्यों? क्योंकि तुम औरत हो, सहना तुम्हारा काम है। आसमां खुला है मर्दों का, पिंजरा पिंजरा ही तुम्हारा आसमान है।
क्योंकि तुम औरत हो, औरत हो, 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 क्योंकि तुम औरत हो।
ये क्या है?
क्या हुआ?
ये मेल
लाओ मुझे दिखाओ। हाँ, ये क्या है? ये तो तुम्हें कोई ब्लैकमेल कर रहा है। ये कैसी पिक्स है? ये पिक्स तो तुम्हारे फेसबुक अकाउंट में है ना?
ऐसी पिक्स है मेरे अकाउंट में, बट ऐसी जैसी इसमें है ऐसा तो मैंने कभी कुछ क्लिक किया ही नहीं।
दिखाओ दिखाओ।
ये देखो।
अरे ये तो साफ साफ मॉर्फ पिक्स है। तेरे फेसबुक अकाउंट से शायद हैक करके निकाली है किसी ने।
अरे ये तो तुम्हें कोई ब्लैकमेल
अनुपमा, तुम गलत नहीं हो। तुम्हें छुपने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है। मुझे पता है क्या करना है। देखो, ये जो तीनों चीजें हैं, हैकिंग, मॉर्फिंग और ब्लैकमेलिंग, ये तीनों पनिशेबल है।
पर इसने तो मेरी पिक्स कहीं अपलोड की ही नहीं ना, तो क्या ही होगा इसका? छुपना मुझे ही पड़ेगा।
देखो, बिना अपलोड किए भी उसके ऊपर आईटी एक्ट और आईपीसी 1860 के सेक्शन 354D के तहत कड़ी सजा मिलनी है उसे। तुम मत छुपना, क्योंकि तुम्हारी कोई गलती नहीं है। छुपेगा तो वो खुद। तुम्हें बस खुद के लिए लड़ना होगा, लड़ना ही होगा।
ए नारी, तू कवच संभाल तेरा, कलयुग गहरा है रण तेरा। न रावण रेखा से रुक पाएगा, न पाताल से राक्षस आएगा। पग पग खतरा है खतरों का, इन खतरों को तू जा मार गिरा। कलयुग गहरा है रण तेरा, ए नारी तू कवच संभाल तेरा। ए नारी तू कवच संभाल तेरा।
बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आप सबका इस शो में जिसका नाम है सवाल इंसानियत पर। और आज हमारा विषय है ऑनलाइन वुमेन सेफ्टी। इस विषय पर चर्चा करने के लिए आज हमारे साथ कुछ माने जाने लोग हैं। यूट्यूब सेंसेशन इल्यूमिनाटी,
हेलो।
ये अपनी एक कहानी सबको सुना ही चुके हैं अपने नए गाने से, जिनसे इनके जलने वालों की रूह भी बहुत जल चुकी है। और है हमारे साथ राउडी नेता लोटा भाई जी, जो ज्यादा बातों को माइंड नहीं करते। और है फेमस एक्टिविस्ट मुन्ना हजारे, जिन्होंने औरत की रक्षा के लिए बहुत काम किए हैं। और है हमारे बीच एक ऐसी महिला जिनके कारण आज ये सभा बैठी है, जो थी एक आम औरत, पर उनकी मजबूरी ने इनको फेमस बना दिया। सो प्लीज वेलकम मिस आनंदी। मिस आनंदी जी, शुरुआत करते हैं आपसे। बताइए आपकी कहानी।
नमस्ते। ये एक कहानी नहीं है, मेरी जिंदगी का एक बहुत बड़ा हादसा है। मैं एक सोशल मीडिया इन्फ्लुएंसर हूँ प्रोफेशन से, तो इस सोशल मीडिया पे उससे रिलेटेड अपना कंटेंट अपलोड करती ही रहती हूँ। और पोस्ट पर तो हेट कमेंट्स आते ही रहते थे, मैं उन्हें जाने देती थी। लेकिन एक दिन मुझे एक डीएम आया, उसमें एक लड़के ने मुझे बहुत गलत शब्द कहे थे। ना चाहते हुए भी मैंने उसे भी इग्नोर किया। फिर कुछ दिनों बाद मुझे काफी डीएम आने लगे। लोगों ने मुझे अपने पिक्चर्स हटाने को कहा, मेरे कैरेक्टर पर उंगली उठाई और पता नहीं क्या क्या। मैं प्रोफेशन के कारण अपने पिक्स भी नहीं हटा सकती हूँ। तो मेंटली हार कर मैंने उन डीएम्स का आंसर किया। मैंने उन्हें पुलिस की धमकी भी दी, पर मुझे उनने बदले में क्या दिया? मुझे रेप थ्रेट्स आने लगे। रेप थ्रेट्स, पता नहीं क्या।
अरे 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 आनंदी जी, संभालिए अपने आप को, संभालिए अपने आप को।
आनंदी जी, आपने पुलिस कंप्लेन क्यों नहीं की?
किया था। उनने कहा कि ये तो सिर्फ थ्रेट्स हैं, कुछ हुआ थोड़ी ना है, बस ऑनलाइन धमकी है। ये बोलकर मुझे बस टरका दिया।
देखिए, हम यहाँ पर कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे। सबसे पहले तो जनता को नमस्कार। और यहाँ पे हम ये कहना चाहेंगे कि देखिए, मामला बहुत जो है सीरियस है, परंतु पुलिस ने सही तो कहा। और वैसे भी तुम्हें तुम्हारी इज्जत का ख्याल रखना चाहिए। क्यों डालती हो ऐसी चीज? अरे न्योता काहे देती हो? डोंट माइंड ना, पर तुम्हें ऐसे नहीं करना था।
अरे नेताजी, आप गलत हैं। कंटेंट तो हम भी डालते हैं ना, बस हम लड़के हैं तो हमारे कंटेंट आपको स्टूपिड और अश्लील नहीं लगते। हमारा कंफर्ट जोन हमारा, और लड़कियों का क्या, कुछ नहीं।
अरे हाँ, तो देखिए, आप भी अश्लील हैं। आप कौन सा कम है? आपको तो टीवी पर नहीं, आपकी जगह तो जेल में है। परंतु आप नहीं है जेल में, क्योंकि ऑनलाइन अगर लड़कों को आप सजा देने निकलेंगे तो पूरा देश जेल पहुंच जाएगा। कुछ गलत काम है? डोंट माइंड मी। हाँ,
अरे भले ही ऑनलाइन थ्रेट्स हो, आनंदी को पुलिस केस करना ही चाहिए था। बहुत एक्ट्स है जिनके अंदर ये सब अपराध है।
सवाल मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगी।
जी।
जब आपने उनकी थ्रेड्स को देखा तो आपने उन्हें ब्लॉक क्यों नहीं कर दिया?
अरे कितनों को करती, एक नहीं दो नहीं बहुतों को किया, फिर भी ये कमेंट्स खत्म ही नहीं हो रहे थे।
हाँ तो देखिए बेटा, अकाउंट तो तुम्हारा पब्लिक है ना, और पब्लिक अकाउंट पे तो ये सब होता ही रहता है। जब सबको दिखाना ही चाहती हो तो इन सब थ्रेड से काहे डरती हो? डोंट माइंड ना, बट ये गलत थोड़ी बात।
नेताजी सुनिए, पहली बात, पब्लिक अकाउंट का मतलब अवेलेबल होता नहीं होता, और रिपोर्टर साहिबा हर सवाल का जवाब ब्लॉक नहीं होता।
और वैसे भी ब्लॉक करना है तो अकाउंट को थोड़ी ना। अरे यार
देखिए बेटा, हम समझते हैं आप पहली बार टीवी पर आए हैं, देख लीजिए क्या बोलना चाह रहे हैं, आराम से 2 मिनट सोचिए क्या बोलना रहे। आपके जैसे बच्चों को मैं हम समझते हैं टीवी पर कोई जगह नहीं है, आपको जेल भेजना चाहिए।
अरे नेताजी देखिए, मैं बस इतना कहना चाह रहा हूँ कि करना है तो उस गलत मानसिकता को ब्लॉक करिए ना, अकाउंट को क्यों ब्लॉक कर रहे हैं? समझ रहे हैं आप?
नहीं, ऐसे नहीं होता। यहाँ पर तो देखिए हम आपसे बिल्कुल एग्री नहीं कर सकते। मानसिकता तो देखिए, मानसिकता तो जिसकी जैसी है वैसी होती है, परंतु अगर आपको अपना बचाव करना है तो आपको अपने लिए कदम उठाने पड़ेंगे। और जैसा हमने कहा कि अगर आप लड़कों को सजा देने निकलेंगे तो पूरा देश जेल में होगा।
अरे
तो लड़कियों को ही यहाँ पे बचाव करना होगा।
क्या बकवास कर रहे हैं आप नेताजी? आप हर जगह सोच के तो देखिए।
ये थ्रेड्स की वजह से कितनी लड़कियों को मेंटल प्रॉब्लम होते हैं, क्या आपको पता है नेताजी?
वही तो,
जैसे डिप्रेशन, एंजाइटी, और तो और वो मजबूर होकर अपना अकाउंट तक डिलीट कर देती है।
वही तो।
क्या ही पता आपके पास कोई अकाउंट है?
अरे बच्चे, आप क्या बात कर रहे हैं? हम खूब चलाते हैं ट्विटर। और
एकदम
एक्टिविस्ट साहब, आप बोलिए यहाँ पे, आपको क्या लगता है हम कुछ गलत कह रहे हैं?
बिल्कुल गलत कह रहे हैं, एकदम सही कहा तुमने इल्यूमिनाती। और रही बात आनंदी की, तो तुम्हें तो इंसाफ मिलेगा। तुम ऐसे हारो मत, हम सब है तुम्हारे साथ। अब छेड़खानियों पे छूट नहीं मिलेगी। डरेंगे वो जिनकी सोच खराब है या हरकत। डोंट माइंड। हाँ नेताजी।
अरे कैसी बातें कर रहे हैं आप? पर्सनल अटैक्स कर रहे हैं हमारे ऊपर।
अरे क्या पर्सनल अटैक?
करने के लिए बुलाते हैं।
एक नंबर के भ्रष्ट आदमी हो आप, मिसोजिनिस्ट। यही सब करते हो आप, हमेशा यही करते हो, आपकी नियति ही यही है।
ऐसे थोड़ी ना बोला जाता है।
हंसी आई, मजा आया। अगर आपको ये सब एक मजाक लगा तो आप भी गुनहगार हैं।
अंत में डिस्क्लेमर यानी कि अस्वीकरण। यह नाटक वास्तविक घटनाओं पर आधारित है। 100% नाटक में दर्शाई गई घटनाओं में से अगर आपको वास्तविक जीवन में किसी व्यक्ति से मेल दिखे तो वह व्यक्ति अपराधी है, और अपराधी को नीतिगत दंड मिलना अत्यंत आवश्यक है। इसमें प्रयोग किए गए चटपटे शब्दों को कृपया केवल हास्य रूप से ना लें। धन्यवाद। नमस्कार।
Thanks for watching. This Nukkad Natak by Team Hoonkar was an effort to increase awareness amongst women regarding this menace so that the victims fight back rather than staying silent. And all the students were stationed at different places because of the pandemic, and this is completely an online collaboration by all the students. On behalf of Women Welfare Committee, I thank Team Hoonkar, the actor-writers Amrita Mitra, Ayush Mathur, Sai Satyadarshan Bhuvan, Uttara Kudesia, Yash Agarwal, writers Yash Sarwal, Niharika Maila Bathula, Pashupaleti Gaganashri, Dhanashri Rathod, editor and screen director Amrita Mitra, and Deependra Singh Sensenwar. Cybercrimes against women are as much an issue as the ones committed offline, and every woman should be aware of the mechanisms and the punishments so as to curb this menace. The Women's Cell has taken a wonderful initiative in this regard today, and now I would request Dr. Nobamita Banerjee, convener of women, to come up to the stage and take care of the proceedings for the next event. Thank you.
Seen the last Hunkar Natak today, which was organized by WWC, and we understood that the crime of sexual harassment, even when it's online, it's so severe and it has so much of impact on the other person. So today we are very happy to have Professor Aditya with us. She will tell us about the POSH Act 2013, the act by India, Government of India, that talks about the sexual harassment for women at workplace, prevention, prohibition, and readdressal. And please, whatever question you have on this act, you are free to ask Professor Aditya. She is an expert on this and she will be able to educate all of us well today on this topic. Thank you. Professor Komal, please go ahead.
Okay. A very warm good afternoon to everyone. I hope my voice is clear.
Yes, ma'am, it's clear.
Yeah, thank you so much. So today we have a topic that's the critical view of sexual harassment of women at workplace. That's Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013, which was enacted to provide a safe, secure and enabling an environment free from any kind of sexual harassment to every woman. Now, as we know, first we must know what is sexual harassment of women. Now, it's an unwelcome behavior of sexual nature. So, at workplace, this is a widespread problem in the world all over. Whether it's a developing nation, whether it is a developed nation or an underdeveloped nation. So, the kind of impact it has on both men and women, it's a universal problem, the negative impact which it has. And of course, it's happening more with women gender. And it's not only in India, as I just told you, it's all over the globe. And although we have very strict laws, action taken against the offenders who do such kind of activities, yet, as we see every day, TV news, newspaper, we somehow have some or other case which is related with the women being sexually harassed. In fact, you all will be surprised to know that there was a survey in Israel and the female Israel MPs faced sexual harassment, and at least 28 out of 32 female members had experienced that sexual harassment or assault. So how many kind of legislations we have to prohibit, prevent, remedies we have. We generally also see in the society that women are vulnerable section. That's why they have to suffer more. Like we have other kind of crimes also, like rape is there, human trafficking is there, and sexual abuse is there, female feticide is there. Now it is unlawful to harass a person because of that person's sex. Now, it's an unwelcome sexual behavior which could be expected to meet a person who can feel humiliated, intimidated, offended. And it can be physical, verbal, or it can be written also. So, unwelcome, which I just mentioned, is a very critical word here, because whenever a person is subjected to unwelcome, such sort of sexual conduct, then we say it is a harassment. Now, sometimes, because in fact, sometimes there can be a request for a date or for a joke or for some kind of comment which you share with your friends and the kind of, relationship you have with them. It depends all on the circumstances. But the biggest problem which women are facing today in different sectors of life is that how to combat this problem, although we have such policies, measures, and the problem is it is one-sided. You know, there is just I told you there is a difference between sexual harassment and romance and friendship, because these are mutual feelings between the two people. But this harassment makes the victim feel guilty, and the victim must remember that it is not her fault. The fault lies totally on the other person who is the harasser. And it sometimes, you know, there can be huge remarks, there can be touching, there can be wolf whistles, all this can be there. And sometimes, you know, we in India, in some cities, we become so used to that we think it is normal. And for working women also, this problem when it comes there, they face the backlash because this kind of a problem arises from male dominance within the patriarchy. It's an extension of violence in everyday life which the women face, and is discriminatory, exploitative, and it creates the atmosphere of threat, terror, all those kind of negative things. Now, all of you must have recently heard about Tarun Tejpal's case. Although it was a pre-pandemic case, but he has been acquitted. He was arrested in 2013 on the charges of sexual assault of a woman, his junior colleague at Tahlika magazine, but was acquitted by the District Session Court of Goa on May 21, 2021. Now, although all over India, the women media and other women, NGOs also, they issued a statement in solidarity for the women who had this courage and determination to pursue justice. But such incidents do take place. Sometimes a person is in the position of power over the other, or sometimes a woman has an untraditional job where she has late working hours. Sometimes it can be, basically it's all the time the woman is having such kind of incidents where sometimes she is in a fear. She doesn't want to file a complaint against the offender when such heinous acts takes place. And that fear can be due to the fear of boss, or it can be a fear of guilt in the society that they may have to face. Sometimes it's a fear that they will be thrown out of the job, or sometimes they can be demoted also, their career can be jeopardized. So all these things, the women lack the knowledge also what exactly qualifies, and sometimes she fails to report the same. Now, it's a problem not only in we say the industry or other corporate houses, in school, colleges, universities and institutions, the percentage is increasing day by day. There was a survey a few years back and it showed that 40 to 70% of the women have been sexually harassed. So the campus sexual harassment is always there, and we now come to the era of digitalization, where everything is becoming digital. Now, the current situation of COVID-19, we never thought that we would be having online classes, and online even court proceedings have been taking place. So we are living in two different worlds now. One is physical world and other is online world. And the internet has changed our world altogether. Everything what was we doing off the line, now we are having everything online. Now, but everything comes with a price. Here the price is our privacy, our data. How the online platform whether it has come for the betterment of our life or how it is being actually used, we are going to discuss now. Now, in India, they say 41% users are sexually and mentally harassed online. Previously, women were not safe if they were outside. Now they are not safe even within the four walls of their house. Online harassment of women is not a new offense. Only the place has changed. Earlier, it was in the streets, it was in the schools I just mentioned, colleges, workplace, etc. Now the place has changed. It is now from physical to the online platform. We need to find the root cause of such offenses and we must clear them from the bottom. And we know nowadays people, the moment, media is very active. So the moment we have some kind of, incident takes place, we have people who come forward, like in 2018's Me Too movement was there. In 2020, boys locker room incident, if you remember, that's a very recent incident and the controversial one. And that has shown how the current generation is addicted to cyberspace and they are misusing it. Anyway, we just come to, due to the nationwide lockdown during COVID, now we know that all professionals are working from home. And women professionals are struggling in managing work-life balance. The problems of cyberbullying, getting unwarranted video call requests at odd hours, online, stalking, all these have increased manifold. The forms of online sexual harassment has changed. Now it is stalking women on social media, sending friends requests, commenting on their pictures, women professionals made to feel guilty for fulfilling any home responsibility during working hours. Then there is taunting or negative comments. Then there are getting calls at unscheduled meetings at odd hours in the name of urgent matters, inappropriately dressing up by male colleagues during virtual meetings. All these are taking place. Now, sometimes they send those obscene emojis. Late night phone calls are there. Now, all these are the examples of online sexual harassment. Sometimes even they take the screenshots and then they start by editing it in an obscene way, then they send it back. In fact, some of the employees in some concerns, they are in 20s and 30s and they have been hired recently only. So they know each other through this online platform only. So they sometimes do not know about the work culture and texting late into the night is a common practice becomes with them. The chat slowly gets sexual and the line is crossed, and sometimes the women are submitted to some kind of blackmail also. She becomes compelled to such circumstances, and the problem is when employees are working from home due to COVID-19, how do we address this kind of sexual harassment? Is the digital environment safer? Are there any forms of sexual harassment that are unique to the online space only? And what can be done to eliminate such kind of abuse of power? Or when can the employees get the power to speak against such abusive behavior? See, for earlier, physical forms of sexual harassment were taken more seriously than the online one. And in fact, now during COVID-19, there is greater emphasis on the mental and emotional well-being of a person. So sexual harassment becomes a major stressor there. We have to see how do we tackle all such problems. And the perpetrators, it's not only in private sector only, even in the government sector, including third-party perpetrators can be there. The domains, as I discussed, can be schools, can be hospitals, can be companies, can be institutions, can be universities. And inability to speak the incident to the employer or the head of the institution has led to many unreported cases also. Women feel guilty. She should be feeling angry. But the kind of upbringing, the kind of grooming sometimes we get in the society, we start feeling guilty. And this guilt makes us, put us in the fear of getting justice also. Now, if you see in the past, we had in 1980s also, it was not a new phenomenon. Even in 80s, sexual harassment was there, because at that time, women were not in the public domain, because it's a very, since last 20, 30 years, women have come more in public domain. Earlier, what structure we had in the society, women used to be confined to the private domain, within the four walls of the house. Now in 80s also, Forum Against Oppression of Women was there, which had certain cases of nurses in private and public hospitals by doctors, patients and all. But there were women activists protesting against it, but we didn't have any guidelines, any sort of particular legislation which could prevent or redress such kind of harassment. And it was the landmark case of Vishakha versus State of Rajasthan, which laid down the guidelines for the prevention and redressal of the complaints by women for the first time. The guidelines given by the Supreme Court, although we had, if you all remember, there was a famous case of Rupan Deol Bajaj, IAS officer from Chandigarh, against Super Cop KPSK. But we had under IPC outraging of modesty, but sexual harassment had not been defined only. Now, in the case of, we could lodge a complaint under section 354 and 509 of IPC, but it never defined this properly. Now, in this case, the court said that there was no such legislation, so the court had to take the matter under the International Convention, Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. In short, we call it CEDAW, that is CEDAW. And through the constitutional provisions, they said this is the right which every woman must have, that is right to live with dignity, and with that, her right comes the freedom to practice any trade, profession, or to carry on any occupation. So, in this case, a PIL was filed against State of Rajasthan and central government, and to enforce Article 14, that is equality, 19, the freedom to follow any trade, profession, occupation, or business, and 21, the right to live with dignity and the right to life. Now, this PIL was filed by Bhamri Devi, which was brutally gang raped for stopping child marriage. And this petition only resulted in the famous guidelines called Vishakha Guidelines, which defines sexual harassment at workplace and provides protection against it for the first time. Now, that happened. After that also, nothing was done to implement the guidelines there. Most of the public and private institutes, they failed to follow the guidelines given by the Supreme Court. They failed to form the complaints committee. They failed to form the service rule which were required by the guidelines. So after many controversies, a wonderful development took place in 2013 when our Indian legislature passed the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Act 2013. And in short, we call it POSH because it is for Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal, which provides the working woman the protection against any kind of sexual harassment and also the redressal mechanism. Now, when it comes to the definition, now under this act, we have a proper definition of this. We have that sexual harassment can be determined by a behavior which can be direct or which can be implied. And that behavior can be physical contact and advances, demand or request for sexual favors, sexually colored remarks can be there, showing any kind of pornography, any other unwelcome physical, verbal or non-verbal conduct of sexual nature. My request is if PPT can be shared at this hour. The key word here again is, as I told in the beginning also, unwelcome, uninvited. The act is totally, such act is prohibited. So there can be some romantic interaction between the consenting people at workplace, which may be, kind of offensive to their colleagues. And that might lead to the violation of the rules at the workplace, the policy that workplace can have, but it is not sexual harassment. Because unwelcome is an important word to be used here. It has to be an unwelcome behavior. So remember this thing that any romantic interaction may be offensive to the colleagues, to the workplace rules and everything, but it is not sexual harassment. At the workplace, high courts and Supreme Court, they have come up with such kind of interpretation of workplace, which has given a very liberal meaning to it, and which is there to safeguard the women at their workplace. So the definition of workplace has been given a liberal meaning, first of all, by Delhi High Court itself. There was a case of Saurabh Kumar Malik versus the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Here the court said, earlier we were thinking that the workplaces where you are working, now they have given notional extension to the workplace. Like under, we have labor laws. Whenever it is, all of you are must be familiar with that. When it comes to Employees Compensation Act, it is not just confined to the premises or the workplace only. It extends. You're coming, you're going, you're working somewhere. If you are there because of your work, then you get the compensation. If any injury or any accident takes place, due to which you get that injury. Now here also, through such cases, the court has given a liberal meaning to the workplace. They said that while it is for sometimes it's CEOs to run their offices from their residence also. In such case, if a person indulges in any act of sexual harassment with another employee, he can't say that this is not a workplace. This was my residence. So no sexual harassment has taken place. The court said that this is the narrow definition which can never be accepted. Because we just can't give a straight-jacket meaning to the word workplace. In fact, it has to depend on the facts and circumstances of the case. And the court said workplace does mean that it has to be just the premises of the institute. It can be anywhere which is proximity to the place of work, where the control of management at such place or residence is there where women are residing. I just repeated, they said proximity from place of work, and the control of management over such place or residence where working woman is residing. Now, such residence becomes the extension of the working place. Similarly, in the case of Jaya Podate versus Rashtradutt Tukoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, it's Rashtra's son, Tukoji Maharaj, Nagpur University. The court said this POSH Act is inclusive. It is inclusive because the parliament had the intention that it should be kept wide open so that other areas could be included in the workplace where the women could be subjected to such kind of sexual harassment. If another case, Aisha Khatun versus State of Bengal, also the court said that the workplace must be understood in the background of the Vishakha guidelines. It cannot be given a restricted meaning. It must be given a broader meaning. And the workplace must be such where for removal of any obstacle of like nature which prevents a woman from attending her place of work. It said the court emphasized on the requirement for providing a suitable and congenial atmosphere to women at their place of work where they can work with honor and dignity. In fact, Supreme Court of India in Punjab, Sindh Bank and Durgesh Kumar said that the workplace must be one which is in accordance with the fundamental rights, where it does not infringe the fundamental rights of equality, right to live with dignity, right to practice and profession, any trade, occupation or business. Now, the very recent judgment of Rajasthan High Court, you, I think, must pay attention. Sanjeev Mishra versus Bank of Baroda, which is very, very latest, and it has widened the scope of term workplace to include online harassment also. In this case, the complaint was lodged against another employee working in a different state, but it was of the same bank branch. Now, the court said in the present digital world, the workplace can be anywhere where the work of the bank is being carried on. It can be some other branch. And sometimes the work is shifted to different branch, but it will be treated as one workplace on a digital platform, regardless of this thing that the employees are working in different branches or different states. The court particularly mentioned that because of this global pandemic, the work has shifted from home model, from work from home model has come in picture, and more individuals and particularly women are finding themselves vulnerable to online sexual harassment. So in this case, a petition was filed by a chief management of the Bank of Baroda accused of sexual harassment by a subordinate employee of the same bank for seeking quashing of charge sheet issued against him by the disciplinary authority of the bank. So remember now the online work which we are doing, and that is included in the definition of workplace. And the court particularly put emphasis that present digital workplace for employees working in different branches of the same organization, different state, shall be treated as one workplace on a digital platform. And if the obscene messages were sent by the petitioner after working hours, already knowing that the complainant is an employee of the bank holding the position of a subordinate, it would still amount to workplace sexual harassment. this will be a misconduct. Now I have been just talking about sexual harassment and all, but what does exactly it means under the Act? I just mentioned that, and the workplace. But if we go to refer POSH Act, Section 3 also says it can amount to sexual harassment if there is any kind of implied or explicit promise made to the woman of treating her specially in her work, if they're intending to cause harm in her work, and threat made to the woman about her present or future job status, or interference in her work, creating an uncomfortable, offensive environment for her, all that will be included in that. And treating a woman in a humiliating manner that will affect her health or safety. As we all know, we are working in educational institute. There has to be a constitution of internal complaints committee. That is very much required under UGC regulations also. And that is called internal complaints committee in every workplace by the employer. And any woman who is a victim of this can write a complaint of sexual harassment to the internal committee within a period of 3 months. And if she is not able to file the complaint, there is a way out. She can still file the case if the internal committee see that it was due to some genuine reason. And then the internal committee sets the inquiry going on, then requests the woman first to settle the matter between her and the respondent, but no monetary settlement is allowed. And if there is a case there, then the complaint can be forwarded to the police within 7 days for registering a case under Section 509 of IPC also. And if a woman maliciously accuses a man, because sometimes in dowry cases also, in domestic violence cases also, we are seeing sometimes the woman, takes undue advantage of the laws, and there are false allegations, and for which the Supreme Court has time and again mentioned that we must tread carefully. So here also, if there is any kind of false or malicious kind of this thing, then the action can be taken against the woman also. The employer or the district officer can take that action. So the identity of the complainant shall not be leaked or published. That's very, very important under Section 16 and 17 of that Act. And if the person who is entrusted to protect the identity of the woman, if he fails to do so, then that person shall be liable for the penalty. So every workplace, particular, because UGC's 2015 rules are there where we have to go by those regulations. Now we have mentioned that the complainant, it's not only POSH Act only which says about this, because any kind of sexual harassment is also against women's fundamental rights. So the writ petition can also be filed. There is the infringement of Article 14, Article 21. We can file a petition there also. And there are other acts also which talk about such kind of, provisions are there to prevent sexual harassment. And those we can find under Women Prohibition Act 1987, Industrial Disputes Act. There is Factories Act 1948. There is the Protection of Human Rights Act 1993. Now, all these can be considered for any kind of relief which we want to have. Now, other than these remedies, of course, the victims of such harassment can approach the civil courts also. There can be, under we say tort, that's a civil action, because there is mental anguish, there is depression, there can be loss of employment. So all those can be there. And especially I want to refer and let everyone know here that online sexual harassment on an electronic platform such is also covered under IT Act, that is Information Technology Act 2000. It gives protection to such kind of harassment, and Section 67 of the IT Act prescribes punitive measures for publishing or transmitting obscene content on an electronic platform. So we have different measures. Under Section 67, there is punishment for publishing or transmitting any kind of material which is sexually explicit in the electronic form. As I've already talked about Section 354, now we have other provisions, penal provisions under IPC, Indian Penal Code also. There is 354A, 354D, and 509. Now, how do you go about it? First is that this is a serious crime, and the working woman should not stop from reporting such incident. First, you must seek, if you can do so, help from legal experts. You can approach local authorities and take course of action. Now, where to file a complaint? You can approach even the cyber cell, which comes under crime investigation departments to deal with cyber crime. You can also file FIR at a local police station. If you are not unable to file FIR, you can approach the police commissioner, because it is compulsory for a police station to register FIR. There is National Commission for Women also, which offer services to help the victims of online harassment to deal with the police. The commissioner has the commission has the power to set up inquiry committee even, which can conduct the on-spot inquiry, collect evidence. They can interrogate witness and summon the accused to expedite the investigation. Another thing is, woman has the means, that is reporting on social media. Now, the thing becomes viral, and that can reach maximum people, and everyone comes to know that this has taken place, and sometimes suo moto action is taken on that. So reporting on social media website is also an option when you have been harassed. Now, remember, since we are all discussing how we have to go about it, when you are a victim of a crime, don't delete photos, don't delete emails or any other information sent by the perpetrator. Because, every time the law wants evidence. So doing so, it becomes difficult to trace the evidence in the virtual world. And screenshots you can take, the printouts of the evidence, and report the incident to the forum as soon as it has taken place. So the social media website is there. If a blog, any kind of crime has happened, report the incident on the forum. Now, we have penalties. Remember, don't think that that person can, get away with all kind of harassment he has, subjected that woman to. Under IPC, we have all those sections where covers all sorts of crimes, and there are penalties for that, for any kind of harassment of the type. Now, if there is any, indecent or any matter which is intended for blackmail, a person can be charged under Section 292A, for which he can be punished for 2 years with fine or with both. Now, offense of sexual harassment also has been included now under Section 354A of IPC, and the person will be punished for imprisonment which may extend to 3 years or with fine or with both. And the person commits the offense we have already discussed that. Then there is stalking. Nowadays, stalking is also there, and under that also the punishment is up to 3 years and can be a fine also. There is defamation also. Under section 499 of IPC, a person can be charged under this section also. Again, the punishment is up to 2 years fine or with both. Criminal intimidation. See, we have plethora of laws under which the person can be charged. Only thing is, we are not aware. As a layman, you just do not come to know what kind of, charges can be put against that person. How do we have to proceed? And moreover, the society, we have the fear of the society, because generally, even if it's a case of sexual harassment or rape or any kind of thing, they look down upon the woman. कि उसने कपड़े क्या पहने हुए थे, वो अकेली क्यों थी लिफ्ट में उसके साथ, the kind of mindset we have. So that is why woman feels very intimidated. Instead of, coming forward, filing the report and doing all these things, she feels the fear. Now, we have IT Act, मैंने अभी आपको बताया, that is violation of privacy. Again, the person can be punished for 3 years and the fine can be up to 2 lakh. There is transmitting any obscene material in electronic form. Any kind of electronic form is there for transmitting. On the first conviction only, the person can be punished up to 3 years and fine which may extend to 5 lakh. And on the second or the third, it can be extended to 10 lakh. So all these kind of, charges can be put against that person. Only thing is, one has to be vocal about it. One has to file the report as soon as possible. And I just told you it can be filed again, even in the police station. If the internal complaint committee is not, taking your complaint, you can go to the police station. It's a cyber crime. And cyber crimes do not have any jurisdiction. The police cannot say that this does not come under our jurisdiction. This does not come under our station. Because cyber crimes do not have any jurisdiction. So we have, whatever we have discussed, we say that the different kinds of sexual harassment can be there. It can be, we in the legal language say quid pro quo. That means a woman is sexually harassed for work benefits. And the second is you create hostile working environment, which is not a positive working environment where the woman can work. And then there is a myth, of course, this act is only for, sexual harassment against women, but sometimes men can also be harassed. That is not it is not gender neutral. But remember this thing, there is a myth that people invite sexual harassment by their behavior or dress. That's a myth. Rape cases take place mostly in such towns where women are cladded from head to foot. So we just can't say this thing that he was motivated by this thing. The kind of dress she was wearing. It's the mind which sees that, जिसको हम कहते हैं कि उस गंदगी को देखना, उस गंदी नजर से देखना. Because rapes, take place even in small town where women are not clad in short dresses or any kind of this thing. So remember, just by your dress or any kind of this thing, you do not invite sexual harassment. And generally, we say it's a rare occurrence. ऐसा तो होता ही नहीं है ना. We generally say कि नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता, आप तो काम करिए, कुछ नहीं होगा. Now, such incidents do take place each and every day. So the incidents only thing is get unnoticed, and generally women feel scared to complain about. as we know that trolling is again sometimes it can be a sexual way of sexual harassment also, because trolling is not what, it's a serious issue because of the fact that the internet and social media are very important and influential elements nowadays in anyone's life. So the right to internet access, the right to access to internet is our fundamental right. It's a freedom of speech and expression. But remember, this speech and expression is not absolute. It can be restricted. You cannot use your right to affect the other person's right in a negative way. So if you, by your trolling, the other person's mental health is being affected professionally or personally, that means this also will bring two provisions of IPC. That is, if you have abetted any person's suicide who is under 18, or a person of unsound mind or intoxicated person, and another can be abatement of suicide of a person above 18 years of age. So we have all those sort of laws which I have just mentioned. So sometimes, when we have, you must be thinking that ma'am has just discussed so many provisions, so many legislations under IPC, Constitution, and then also, if you remember, recently a case happened where a woman working in the office of the Chief Justice tried to lodge a sexual harassment complaint against him. And it caused a dilemma for those who had to look into the matter, because this case revealed a blind spot of India's existing rules, because a Supreme Court employee could complain about sexual harassment against her co-workers, seniors. There is no mechanism for someone to lodge a sexual harassment complaint against the Chief Justice of India. All existing civil and criminal guidelines became dead end for such a victim. So we have, all sort of legislations, the stringent measures. Under the Act also, we have District Local Complaints Committee, but are they functioning meaningfully? Now, if ma'am remembers, we just had that higher education institutes, workshop on prevention of sexual harassment, POSH Act only. And the same Martha Farrell Foundation, that's a New Delhi-based foundation, in 2017, they came to know many local committees are constituted, but how many cases they receive and how many they resolve, that was very, very depressing. Now, 56% of 655 districts they reached, they did not respond to the request only. And only 29% said they had local committees to look into the workplace sexual harassment. And 15% said they did not have, they have not only set up a committee yet. So every time we have wonderful laws, wonderful, legislation, but when it comes to the making is very, Parliament is always concerned because of Vishakha, we had problem, so they came up with this thing. But implementation of that is always a problem, because that sincerity, that professionalism, the kind of monitoring, somewhere the mechanism lacks. Now, we have, local committees also. They are every year, internal and local committees have to file a report to the district officer with details on the number of cases and their disposal, as per the POSH Act. Now, the appropriate government must monitor whether the implementation has taken place or not, whether the data is being maintained on the number of cases filed and how many have been disposed of in all cases. Now, the district officer should also forward all the reports with the details of the companies or whatever institution is there to the state government so that they maintain the record of the data. And that is what the Ministry of Women and Child Development also requires. Because once there is a proper data, then only, that can be controlled wholly by some kind of, sometimes the funds are lacking. So you come to know what kind of direction is required if you have proper data available. So how many companies, how many districts are complying with the guidelines, number of complaints filed, outcome of these complaints, that data is still very scattered amongst all these sources. So we have complaints under National Commission for Women also has an autonomous body, constituted as by Indian government. It also receives complaints of sexual harassment and they take place. And I must talk about, we have at organized national level, what should the government or the organization or at individual level to prevent such kind of harassment? It is employer's duty to provide safe and the kind of workshop you are just having now. This is how you become aware of the remedies available under the Act and how do you have to proceed. Now, recently there was a judgment on 11th only. Earlier the Internal Complaints Committee, if it did not receive the complaint and said, no, this is nothing, there was no appellate authority for that, where the woman could file an appeal. आपकी खुद की ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की कमेटी ने कह दिया कि भैया कोई केस नहीं, हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते. Now where to file an appeal? Now on 11th July, Bombay High Court has mentioned that industrial tribunal in such cases will be an appellate authority. That's a big relief for the woman. Otherwise for the redressal, because it's Internal Complaints Committee who has to, get the complaint and proceed. And now she can file an appeal. Of course, it's a High Court decision, but it always has persuasive value for other High Courts also. So now we have that under the Industrial Tribunal is the appellate authority in this case, but it is employer's duty to provide safe and free of this kind of harassment to the, woman so that she can work in a secured atmosphere. There should be a policy so that the work can be effectively and efficient, because you want ultimately the production outcome. It should be, the outcome should be productive. There can be training programs, there can be workshops, and other kind of, commitment can also be there, that the matter must be, investigated properly. And the message must be sent to all the women and otherwise, in fact, all the employees who are trying to bring in good working environment, that such policies must be followed seriously. And there should be surveillance methods in a preventive, like you can have all those CCTV cameras in the institute, and because generally the CCTV cameras can capture those moments. Sometimes you are not able to produce the evidence, and when it comes to evidence, then a woman is under pressure to how to get it. So CCTV cameras can be installed at workplace, and there can be a monthly meeting where the employer can have heart-to-heart talk if any problem is there, because to provide safe working environment, you must make the woman confident that if such an incident happens, she can come forward to complain about it. So there is a need to bring empowerment of women, through some kind of, I just mentioned, workshops can be there, some educational programs through which the knowledge, can be imparted and they understand and realize what rights they have. So when we talk about gender equality, then we must see that the woman also get the same safe environment where she can, everyone is bothered about the output. And when the working place is a pleasant working place, naturally you give your more output. The media can also play an important role here because, media nowadays is, of course, everybody, watches TV and we watch news and everything. So they can play an important role in curbing the society from this kind of harassment. There can be through films can be there, some advertisements can be there, some kind of dramas can be there. We have all those family sagas on TV. So that the public understand. There can be debates, there can be talk shows. And the women workers, we have so many women worker groups, they also must come forward, and every complaints committee must have the duty to keep everything confidential. And female workers should know that it is employer's legal duty. It is not that she is there, so that is why he is under some kind of, obligation. No, it is his legal duty to provide women employee with a safe working environment. And all male colleagues must understand that such kind of incidents cannot, just be taken in a lighter way. कि ठीक है, किसी ने तंग कर दिया, परेशान कर दिया. It can really affect women's health. It can really affect her confidence. It can really affect her ability of a woman, and it can even lead to her leaving a job. So you just have to see that there is social acceptability, and women should not fear to come forward with their problems and complaints. They must be courageous to speak out for themselves. And greater involvement of public in awareness programs is required so that there is participatory role. There is participatory role where this can be done. So, whenever the new people are hired, naturally sometimes they do not know about the working culture of that institute. They must have this post training. And there can be annual refresher course for this. Because these behaviors which are inappropriate and offensive, which constitute sexual harassment, employees must be aware of. Employees must be aware of the penalties. Employees must be aware of the consequences. What action can be taken against the perpetrator, so that they are scared. We have law in the society to have justice, security, peace in the society. And when it comes to law, then the people must be aware that this is the punishment. एक मर्डर है, हम उसको हम करने से क्यों है, क्योंकि उसका एक पता है कितनी जबरदस्त पनिशमेंट है उसके लिए कि लाइफ इम्प्रिजनमेंट, डेथ पेनल्टी भी हो सकती है. रेप का हमने क्यों इंक्रीज किया सब कुछ, इसीलिए बिकॉज देन देयर इज अ फियर in the person to commit such kind of a crime. So we must, recognize those red flags, that the strict action can be taken against the perpetrator, and the people, it's not that woman only. The other colleagues should also have the courage if they see any incident taking place. Because ultimately we all have to give the safe environment to the woman. So the co-workers, they should always come forward. They should be the encouraging survivors to speak up on that person's behalf. And we have, in fact, this virtual world has isolated employees from the network of, colleagues. Because in physical presence, you can share your feelings. you can diffuse the situation. But now, because of virtual world, there is increased risk where you do not share and you go through that mental trauma of sexual harassment. So we all must, it's a challenge for the organizations, but they must address this sexual harassment, and they must see that there are some kind of safe work environment provided for the women. Now we have another thing, which the last steps which I will just would like to share with you. The companies must set up clear guidelines on how we are going to work from home and what will be the rules which have to be followed. That is, the male colleague must be dressed up properly. And that comes to, of course, the female roles. So the clear guidelines should be there, and the working hours, no late hours. Sometimes there are late hours at any time your colleague is ringing up and coming on online. No, there should be clear guidelines how the work is going to be from home. Proper dress code for online meetings. There should be fixed time slots. There should be fixed time slots, especially when the video calls have to be made for the women. It should not be late night hours. So fixed hours should be there for making video calls to the women. And banning should be there of any kind of images. We have memes also nowadays. Any lewd messages against working women. They should not be there. And a proper council to address all these kind of concerns. So all this kind of, I think, working condition must be made pleasant to the woman so that she can work wholeheartedly, and there should be awareness of the rights of the female employees in this regard, which should be created, particularly by notifying the guidelines in a suitable manner. Now we have, if you remember, recently Delhi High Court, there was a journalist, Priya Ramani, case which was, it was filed by former editor and sitting member in a defamation lawsuit filed by sitting member of parliament, M.J. Akbar, for accusing him of sexual harassment. And it happened in 1993. So in this case, the judge said the woman has a right to put her grievance at any platform of her choice, and even after decades. It happened in 1993. And she filed a case against him after so many years. The judge said the woman has a right to give her grievance at any platform. And it can be after a long time even. Because he said in 1993, she had no avenues to seek redressal. He never had this POSH Act at that time. India even formulated the Vishaka guidelines to prevent sexual harassment in 1997. And after the 16 years of those guidelines, we had this POSH Act 2013, which is known as Prevention of Sexual Harassment, that is POSH Act. So Ramani's acquittal in the defamation case was a victory for women trying to report sexual harassment. Women are not able to access the law, and if they access the law, they face several institutional and cultural challenges. एक बार रिपोर्ट करने में ही लगता है कि दुनिया क्या कहे. No, because we are groomed, we are brought up like that. We always feel inferior to the opposite sex. And the kind of mindset we have, we always, in fact, giving our sympathy to the victim, we look down upon. So hundreds or thousands of women in informal sector and otherwise are, sometimes they do not get access to POSH Act. And then there is no body as such of the government which can, really help these women to come forward and file the complaints. So even the companies that have good intentions do not know sometimes how to go about complying with the law, how to train their employees in the committee, how to decide the cases of sexual harassment. Even the larger company with resources sometimes, even the smaller company with small resources, they do not have such kind of, good intention is there, but they do not know how to train their employees. And in fact, the government should publish data on number of sexual harassment cases, received and resolved by the local district committees and everyone. So we must have all sort of, measurements so that there is a safe environment for the women. And in the end, I will just say that POSH Act, it is there on the paper. We know its object is to prevent sexual harassment. We know that it's there is a redressal mechanism for the women, but whether the approach has been actualized or not, that remains a question. And let's respect, in the end, I will just say, let's respect women for the value. Let's respect everyone for that matter, men and women, for the value they bring to the workplace. And whenever you think about disrespecting a woman, just think about how you were born into this world. I'll just repeat it. Whenever you think of disrespecting a woman, think about how you were born into this world. Thank you so much.
Please thank Professor Komal for this wonderful talk.
Thank you so much. I just have, no. In fact, if anyone has any query, because I'm short of time, I have already, in fact, I was supposed to go for another meeting at 4 o'clock. But anyway, thank you so much for giving me this platform where I could be, if I could be any help to the women here, I think that would be my, gift for today's lecture. Because I want women to be aware, and so that, it has become a necessity nowadays, especially in metros and all, that woman has to work. And when she steps out, why not give her such a beautiful environment where she can bloom? So thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Orjia. And I know that you are extremely busy and still you have given us time. Thank you. I would say the participants, if you have any questions, you can email it to her. I'll share her ID with you. She's very busy and she has to leave us today. Please thank her once again.
And no, it's not a formality. Anyone who sends the question will definitely get a reply.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Okay. Take care.
So here at ICER, I would just like to say one thing, that we do have ICC. So please come forward if any of you are facing any kind of an unwelcome behavior, irrespective of your gender. Please be vocal. Here at ICER, we are there at ICC, and outside ICER, as Professor Komal has told us, there are laws. So there is no reason to shy away. Please speak up. If you speak up, you're basically helping yourself, and as well as you are caring for the society, for other women. So please come forward. And thank you. Thank you, Professor Komal. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.